Welcome back to another episode of Reality Court. My name is Ace Fanning, and I am obviously the most beautiful one on this meeting right now. Unfortunately, I've got Anna Quincoces really weighing me down. And guys, a familiar face to everyone who is a fan of Real Housewives of Miami, one Miss Joanna Krupa, who, you know, she looks fine, I guess. She looks okay, but obviously no one can compete. Joanna, you're telling me right now you're feeling under the weather and you look this good.
Yeah. It must be the lighting. Maybe it's the California sunshine.
Yeah,
But I'm a little bit under the weather for sure. My daughter is sick too, but you know, I wanted to see genetics. Anna and you guys. So right away I got in a better mood and, you know, motivated me to get ready and look cute for you guys.
It's been too long that I've seen you over there.
I know, the last time was what, 2 years that you came to my house? Yeah. But you came over to my house like 2 years ago, right? Yeah. So it was right at that time we were divorcing. Yep.
Yeah. So how's everything going with that, by the way, just to...
I mean, everything's, but I think when I don't remember the exact month and I saw you, but it was all finalized basically over 2 years ago. Yeah. So it's, nothing has changed.
Yeah, you were right there.
I think we were at the point where we're just signing everything. Yeah.
So we're wondering if you're going back with Roman.
What?
We're wondering if you'll go back with Roman because we love you together.
Why does everybody think that? I swear, it's so funny. Everybody
because you guys still have a connection.
We're friends. We're friends. He was, you know, always like a very close person in my life. We were, you know, best buddies, best friends. So I think we just kept in touch even after we divorced because, you know, he's a good person. He has a good heart. Yes. We didn't break up because we didn't like each other. He did something bad to me. And I think, you know, we'll always have like that. It's more of a brother-sister relationship at this point. Yeah. Like, you know, he knows he can count on me and I can count on him. And we can, you know, talk about relationships, family, whatever, you know. So I think it's more like a buddy.
He hasn't been lucky in love either. Right?
Yeah, well, who has these days? It seems you're either lucky in love or well, congratulations.
See, Ace is lucky in love. He's married, has 3 children. His wife tolerates him. I mean, that's a big deal for him.
Joanna's like, wait, you mean his husband? No.
Yeah, no, I know. Everybody thinks Ace is not gay. I should have said that before, but
why would I think that? Or why would
everyone everybody just thinks it. Once I get talking, you'll be like, because I'm like a little bitch.
Well, whatever. We all could be a little bit. Yes.
I have to tell you something that I learned about you just recently.
Oh, boy.
You are the face, the host of Top Model, the Polish Top Model.
Where have you been?
I didn't know this because I didn't get Top Model.
The memo.
The Poland on my TV, but I think like my biggest celebrity crush of all time is Tyra Banks. I've always been in love with Tyra Banks. She's the face of America's Next Top Model. And I'm like, holy shit, look at Joanna. Like, wow.
Look at her
go. Huge.
Yeah, I'm definitely the Polish Tyra for sure. And it's fun. And I'm glad you brought this up because a lot of people, you know, they don't realize that my career was before and after Housewives.
I was just going to say that.
It still continues. And I've been doing 14 seasons of Top Model. It's one of the hit shows in Poland. So I kind of separate my 2 lives, my LA life and my Polish life. And I love it. I'm a very happy place in my life. So I'm glad you brought it up so people don't think I'm sitting home and moping, crying, I'm not
That's what they think I'm doing. You know? That's what they think I'm doing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you came in successful on this show and you're still successful and you're just killing it, girls. So,
It's ridiculous. But yes, Joanna, when we started the show, was already well known. She had done Dancing with the Stars. She had been on a million covers. She had done a lot of, so many things. So it's funny, but isn't it it's funny and it's sometimes terrible that for me, that's how I get introduced to everything. It's like the highlight of my career. Very true.
You're labeled that.
Yeah.
You're labeled.
Forever.
Yeah. Because before The Housewife, it's like I've done over 100 covers worldwide. I did PETA campaigns. I did Dancing with the Stars. I did another show for ABC called Superstars. I did a couple movies. But then you get labeled this, and then a lot
Yeah.
of people don't realize that before Housewives, I'm probably the only housewife that came in before. Now, of course, they put in celebrities, but
Right,
I
right.
was the only one that came in as a celebrity, somebody that was already accomplished, somebody that did Dancing with the Stars. Nowadays, it's like you become a housewife, then you become a celebrity
Right.
and go on Dancing with the Stars and stuff like that. So I think also I feel like I got a little bullied going into this show because I was to a point established, obviously not on Tyra Banks level, but I was established to a point where I was recognizable. And I think some of the ladies, right away
Not
felt like there's
me.
a competition. Not, no, that's why I hit it off with you
Yeah.
because you're a strong, beautiful, successful woman. And I think
I
that's
love
what it
that.
takes to have a power group of women get together without being catty and hating each other and trying to compete and go below the belt. So, yeah, that's why we hit it off right away.
Can you confirm? I read that you were asked to come back for season 4 and that you turned it down.
You know what? There were talks where they kind of dropped the idea if I wanted to do it, the door is open. But being a mother, and this is what, 12 years later, I feel like I'm in such a different place in my life. I don't need the cattiness. I don't need the superficial life. I don't need to prove to anybody that I have a certain amount of handbags or a certain amount of shoes or certain lifestyle. I'm very happy and content with what I've accomplished in my life. And I don't, I feel like, all the power to these women. Obviously, they've made names for themselves. But for me, it's just, I don't need the stress. I don't need the drama in my life. I'm not against reality TV, but this specific type of show, I think once you sign up, you got to go to war. You got to fight, or else you're going to be, traded in for somebody else. It's always like a competition. Who stands out more? Who has a storyline? Who doesn't? And I'm too old for that, to be honest with you. I'm too happy with what I've accomplished in my life, and I don't have to prove anything to anybody. And I think for me, it's about doing projects that are that give back, that show heart. And that's why I love doing Top Model, because we definitely change the lives of these individuals that come on the show, young kids, girls and boys that come on the show. We change their life. They come from a little town that nobody would ever give them the opportunity, and we do. And, every year we travel to different fashion week all over the world. Like this year we went to Dublin, we went to Paris, Milan, so, we give the opportunity. So those kind of shows with heart is what interests me, and projects with heart interests me. So I'm not at all into, the catty side. Maybe when I was in my 20s and, when I did this show back then, but I think I just got a bad taste of it.
Yeah.
And
you wouldn't
that's not
have
what my,
any. Yeah. If you would have gone
and
back,
that's not
you
who
didn't
my
have
friends
anybody.
are. I don't,
Right. Those
I don't
people.
feel I have to be, I don't
Yeah.
need to be friends and compete. Like, I don't remember any girlfriend that I've had that I got in a fight with over something big, like
Yeah,
you're supposed to support each other, not see, okay, how can I hurt her so they'll talk about me? No, it's not my
They
cup
really
of tea,
did
that's for
come
sure.
at her. They really did come at her. And when all these years later, the people that didn't come at her are really the people that have their own lives and have always been secure and comfortable in their own skin and not threatened by a supermodel. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what she was. But you know what? That hasn't changed. Anybody that has come on this show that's younger or prettier or has more affluent or whatever, Alexia can't get along with them either.
I don't know what it is. I mean, because she could be killing it, and I think some people sabotage themselves. And, because if she was a person that had a big heart and was likable and was sweet and cared about others, maybe she would come off differently. But, because you can't change somebody's personality or character. So,
Yeah. Have you watched this season at all?
I have not. I don't watch any of the Housewives. Whatever I see, whatever pops on my social media, that's about it.
You're not missing much.
Aside
The season,
from drama, I'm sure.
you also have a new project called Street Rescue. This is a new TV series or new series. Can you talk to us about Street Rescue? Exactly what you're doing, because I think that it's so interesting to see someone who's so beautiful go to places that are not so beautiful, and then bring so
Mm-hmm.
much joy and love and light to such a dark situation.
But that's always
Thank
been
you,
her
Ace.
passion.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
always
I've
been.
always been an exactly. I've always been an animal lover. When I first felt a little bit of success in the limelight, the number one thing I wanted to do was be involved in an organization that gives back to the animals. So why I got involved with PETA, I got a humane award from PETA that Kelly Osbourne presented to me in 2010. It was actually a humanitarian award. So I've been, and then I opened up my own animal rescue, Angels for Animal Rescue. So the helping and giving back has always been in my blood. And I always, for a long time, I wanted to do a project where, having an animal rescue and having animals, especially living in California, the vet bills are beyond. Like you can't go if your dog has an emergency. Like my dog Aubrey the other day on Wednesday night, I took her at nighttime to the emergency. Picked her up at 2 a.m, $1,500 later. And, some people just can't afford. There was a girl there in the lobby crying because she couldn't afford the bill. I had another dog where she was an emergency, $10,000. And you have to sign off right off the bat that you will pay for it. They're not going to,
Or they won't
help
treat
your
him.
dog.
Right.
Or they won't treat it. So for me, I'm like, my goodness, there's so many people that have lost everything, that are on the streets, or they live paycheck to paycheck, and they have their fur baby that is their best friend. Like for me, my dogs have been my therapy for years, going through, 2 divorces and, dealing with not everything so bubbly and beautiful in my life over the years. They've always been, the ones that were there for me. And so I know fur babies are like best friends. And for me, it just kills me where I know people can't afford a vet bill. So the shelters are overcrowded with thousands of dogs and cats being killed every day because there's no room for them. And, sometimes people don't realize that even though their dog is sick, they can't afford it. They give it to the shelter, not realizing it will get killed. So the whole concept of the show is helping low income families, pay for their veterinary bills for their animals. Also, we had, one person that was on the show, his name was Dan, and he lost his home, he lost his job, and he would not give up his 2 dogs. So he ended up living in his car. So we, obviously came in, we helped him with, food and anything else he needed. And eventually one of my friends that's an animal activist also helped him find a home where, he had a roommate and he finally found a job. So it's like different cases of different rescue situations, but it's mostly helping the people that can't afford vetting, taking care of their animals.
What I have seen is a big transition in the world after COVID where people are a lot more accepting of dogs in public places, at hotels, even fine hotels. People need their dogs in a way that they, their dogs, there was always people like you that felt that your dog was your family. I never had that until Harry, where he travels with me. He goes everywhere with me. I'm obsessed with him. The first time I went to visit Joanna, not this last time, in her Hollywood Hills house where Roman was there too that day. Remember we went to the movies with the girls?
Yeah.
The door opened and 17,000 dogs came running. It was like, I knew she loved dogs, but this was like, what is happening?
This is too much.
It was a lot. But so you've always walked that walk, and today I see in some shows like Real Housewives of Orange County and whatever, showing people go to a shelter and like, the puppy and whatever. But it just feels like it's just a way to make themselves look good in front of the audience or to appeal to animal lovers. It doesn't seem authentic, like in your case.
Authentic, exactly.
Yeah, which you've been working on this show. You were already working on this show when I visited you 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I've had, I've been involved with the Humane Society and PETA since I think it was 2005 or 2006. So I've been, in the animal rescue world for a long time. So nobody can say, oh, she's only doing this because, she wants the attention. Like nobody can ever say that to me because I walk the walk. I don't just talk.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of people take advantage of the fact because, they just, I guess they want attention on them. But you know what? whatever it is, as long as they're putting attention on the issue, you know, it is what it is. It's better that than nothing.
I want to play the trailer for your new series, Street Rescue, right now.
You ready to do something good today?
Always. Let's go save some humans and their pets.
You in? Hit that subscribe button and join the rescue.
This Friday, one act of love changes everything. A homeless man on Skid Row gives up everything to keep his pit bull puppies safe. With special guest, Dr. Kwane Stewart, the street vet, Joanna Krupa joins forces to give hope, healing, and a second chance. This is the true beginning of Street Rescue, where real stories meet real heroes. Join us for the premiere episode, Friday, October 24th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on YouTube. Subscribe now at youtube.com/@StreetRescueTV and be part of the rescue.
Like, subscribe, and share because every view will help us save another life.
Joanna, seeing you go onto Skid Row, like there are people who are terrified of going to Skid Row, just like normal everyday people. You go in and a lot of these people, all they have is their animals. And I imagine that had to be hard for them to be like, okay, I'm going to trust you with my animal, because I'm sure probably the first thing they imagine is like, oh, you're here to try and take my pet from me, you know? And that's got to be so hard to kind of win their trust over and say like, hey, I'm not here to do that. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help your pet. What was filming this experience like in terms of like connecting with these people and trying to earn their trust?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, Ace, because originally when I had the idea, I went together with Dr. Kwane Stewart. He's the street vet, which many of the residents at Skid Row know of him and trust him because he does do a lot of good work when it comes to the fur babies. So I did initially go with him. We did go with other organizations that already have their feet wet into that neighborhood, only because you're right. You know, we actually with Kwane, when we were there was 2 kittens we were taking because the man found the stray cat that was pregnant. He didn't want to keep the kittens because he knew he can't keep all the kittens. So we actually ended up taking them to get to a foster home and get them adopted. But before that, when one person, when they saw us putting the kittens into the crate, they came up to me and they're like, "Are you going to take them? What are you going to do with them?" Like, they were very concerned about where these kitties are going. They're like, "Are you animal control?" I'm like, "Trust me, we are not animal control. We don't want to. We want to prevent animal control from coming and taking away these kittens, putting them in the shelter, and not giving them a high percentage of survival, because a lot of the cats and dogs get killed, sometimes after 3 days at the shelters." Right. So, but some people think, oh, they live off the streets, they don't care about the animals, but that's all they really have. A lot of times it's all they have. And so we did have to go in there with people that are trusted, that these people know of them, because I'm sure we would have had a totally different experience if I'm just like, hey, I'm just going to pick up and bring a few cameras with me and go see the residents at Skid Row. I'm sure it would have been, and plus I don't know all the areas, and going with people that know the areas, because I'm sure there's other parts that might be not as safe. Obviously, right. Don't get me wrong, the first time I was going, I'm like, okay, we're doing this, so I will not lie to you. I was a little bit nervous about what the outcome will be. I was a little bit nervous about the environment, a little bit nervous about the safety. But, meeting these people, they're the ones that we met were just kind-hearted people. Whatever their issue got them to the point where they're living off the streets. The biggest thing that I noticed is they do love their animals, and they want to give their animal either a better life, where give them to us to find a forever home, or have us take the animal to a vet to get them checked out, or get them spayed or neutered.
There are huge names out there who have been, found of doing animal abuse. And what a lot of people don't maybe understand is that a lot of these people who might be homeless or can't afford, like, they'll make sure their dog eats before they do.
Absolutely.
And what a pet needs is love. And the pet doesn't need private jets or any of this other stuff. A pet needs love. And a lot of these pets that are with these insanely successful, rich celebrities, whoever it may be, they're not always treated well. And I do know that these people, they care for their animals. And it's so evident in your show just how much they care for them.
Yeah. And, you know,
Yeah,
I just saw that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was
Go
just
ahead,
talking
Anna.
about like Diane Keaton, who just passed. You know, she had $100 million in her, I guess it was her estate, and she left $5 million for her dog. And, you know, that dog is never going to use the $5 million. You know what I mean? And nor does he need to. He just needs love.
Yeah, he won't know the difference.
He won't know. So, like, it really bothers me, and I loved her, but it really bothers me that she didn't say, you know, I want my dog to be taken care of by, you know, family. I want him to be treated like I treated him, sing to him, do all the things I did. But I'd like to allocate this money. If you love animals that much and you have the privilege of having that kind of money lying around, why don't they donate to that? Have you tried to get people to put that in their wills? And, you know, have you tried that aspect of it?
Actually, that's a good point you bring up. No, I haven't. It's actually the first time I'm thinking about it. It's actually a great idea to also educate people to do that, because it did actually bother me now that you do say, because when I read that, I'm like, in a way, okay, she loved her dog.
Yeah.
But $5 million would save so many lives of other fur babies. And her dog will, as you said, will never need all that money to live a beautiful life. And who is her dog staying with, you know? So a lot of times this is an issue, because when people pass away, they don't think about the fact, who's going to take care of my pet? You know, we had situations where the family, you know, they lose a family member, and the family member's like, I don't want their dog. I don't want their animal.
Right.
And they give it to the shelter, you know, or we had a situation where actually one of the dogs that I adopted, because the owner died, Cinnamon. It was a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, Cinnamon. His owner died. The owner actually was dead in the apartment for a little bit. The dog was starved to death, basically. Nobody knew. Finally, somebody came to see that the owner was no longer alive. Went to the ex-wife, brought him to a vet, which later my animal rescue group, Angels, got a call. But the ex-wife, like, oh, I don't want my ex-husband's dog. It's like, it's a living, breathing thing. So you'd rather leave it at the shelter, not care what's going to happen to it. You know, so that's an issue. Like, a lot of times people, even if it's your, you know, close family member, you need to have a conversation with them, because you don't know if they're going to take your dog.
Absolutely.
You don't know.
I think about that.
Yeah, it's a bit,
like with my dog, like, okay, I'm a certain age, which I'm not going to keep repeating. And let's say Harry has
we know you're young and beautiful.
7 or 8 years left. I can't live without a dog. So I can't live thinking that something could ever happen to him, but I will get another dog. Then I will be, you know, the dog might outlive me. And so I would definitely have a conversation with somebody before I ever got the dog, and for them to, you know, to know that the dog, because that's what they need. You know, if she had, instead of the $5 million, found a family with young children, it was a golden retriever, right? I mean, how happy would that dog be? He would get his meals, he would get his walks, and he would have love, and then give the money to somebody else. So that's why I just thought, you know, I wonder why people don't speak. There's so many wealthy people that do love dogs, because nobody else can stand them, and so their dogs tolerate them. And so I think that would be a good idea, that you can say, hey, can we count on you to put a little bit of your estate into this foundation?
I agree.
You know? Yeah.
I agree with you.
Because there isn't a lot of government money for any of this. You're going to rely on donations and, you know, that kind of stuff. So I don't know.
No, that's a great point.
Joanna, also since leaving Real Housewives of Miami, obviously you've been doing a ton, but I think the best, most incredible thing that you've done is you've become a mom. And I'm so curious. I know the audience wants to know, like, what kind of mom are you? Are you awful like Anna Quincoces or?
She knows my girls, and she knows that I'm not awful.
Yeah.
Tell us about your daughter. Tell us all about what it's like for her to have a supermodel mom.
My gosh. Well, definitely being a mom has changed changed my priorities. I'm definitely different than I was back in the day when I was younger. I mean, it's just, I think of her before any decisions I make. So she, you know, doesn't look back and is embarrassed of her mom, or, you know, I want her to be proud of me. And I try to, you know, I had a great mother. I'm like, she's my best friend. You know, I do anything for my mom. And I wish that I can bring that to my daughter, that we're going to be so close and she can count on me through any kind of situation, if it's a good or a bad, knowing that
she can tell you anything.
She can trust me. She can tell me. She doesn't have to be scared. She doesn't have to be worried. But you know what? I will tell you, Ace, that as much fear as I had in the past of, like, you know, life just one day hits you, like now I'm just like everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, like you realize how precious life is, how delicate life is. And you just worry about things so much more than before being a mom. And one thing that definitely changed is my body will never get back to what it was before.
Oh, whatever.
Oh,
I
God.
can't.
No, but trust me, it never bounces back. So you will not see me in a two-piece bathing suit. You know,
I've already seen you in that after. That's not true. You've done lingerie
did? Well,
stuff.
not in a two-piece swims. I don't know. It just, maybe it's like a self-conscious thing. But, you know, and I always, when I had her, you know, I thought she needs this, she needs that, she does that, you know, like you think you need your baby needs so much more than it really
and
does.
Material
need.
things,
so then,
right?
The material, and it's like they just, you know, you buy them all these toys or all these little things like puzzles, and all she cares about is like pots and pans, or not now, but when she was little.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing how much you learn also as a parent, that your child, kind of like a fur baby, they don't need much. They just need love, food, attention, you know, and guidance, basically. So yeah, I mean, it's the most beautiful thing is being a mother. And while I was pregnant, it was probably the best time of my life. And
but you're not a strict mom, because I've seen you. She gets away with murder.
It's interesting because she does whatever she wants with me. It's funny because and she loves my mother, like they're best friends. So when my mom and I are together, she gets away with everything. She listens to her father more, definitely, than she does with me. And I don't know what it is, because he gets, you know, like I thought he would be the tougher one, but she gets away with a lot with him too. So I don't know what it is. She definitely knows how to manipulate me to get whatever she wants. And it's like, I don't know. I thought I would be a stricter mom for sure, but I also, I'm so proud of her because she does have a big heart, and it's already showing. She's going to be 6 years old in like 2 weeks, and it already shows. And she loves, you know, her animals. And, you know, even if we're driving down, you know, we're going somewhere and she sees a homeless person asking for money, she's like, Mommy, aren't you going to help this person? So it's like at that young age, she already realizes that you do have to be kind, and, you know.
Do you ever think of having more kids or remarrying?
You know what? I would love to have more kids. I mean, obviously hasn't been in my cards as of now. I mean, obviously there's moments where, you know, I regret not starting earlier, only because for her sakes, I would have loved to have a bigger family for her, since I have a sister and I can't imagine my life without having a sibling. Would I remarry? Maybe. I don't know. Is there anybody good? No, I haven't met anybody. I always say the good ones are taken, like you were talking about, Ace. You know, the good ones are taken. And actually something, Bethany Frankel popped up on my social media one day, and she mentioned something that makes sense. She kind of said in those words where men over a certain age, they don't want to commit a relationship because they've been through the wives, They've had their kids. So, you know, after like, I don't know, she said after 40s or 50s, they just want to have fun.
Yeah.
They don't want to commit, you know? So I'm like, that actually makes kind of, you know, a lot of sense.
We saw the drama that you went through with Romaine, and I got to say, like, you did a good job of, I think what I like so much about you is you are very straightforward in the things that you say. And I feel like you're just like, well, I don't like this. This is what I'm going to say. And you don't really hold back. But also, you also had a little bit of drama on the show with your sister, Marta. And I'm curious to see where your relationship is now. How are you guys doing?
You know, like shows like that definitely bring out drama that's really maybe not there, or it just automatically comes because it's just so much tension all around that you become a person maybe you didn't know you had inside of you. So like definitely filming and my relations with my sister is totally different. Like her and I would never even, you know, we don't even get in like arguments, or we don't really have drama in our life. You know, we're best friends. I would do anything for her. You know, I support her, whatever she wants to do in life. So I think, you know, that kind of show definitely shows a different element in the reality of the world, because that's, you know, I couldn't say, yes, that was my reality. Definitely, I think it was made more than it was at the time.
I don't even remember it much, actually. I've always known you and Marta to be so close, so I don't remember that.
Yeah, we were always very close.
I think the audience likes when people have a history and like a real history, not like, hey, I just met you 2 minutes ago, now we're going to fight. I think a real history, and then like seeing the relationship that comes with that, the highs and the lows, that's what people are interested in. But, you know, I feel like it's obvious that, you know, you have so much love for your sister, and no matter what fights happen during the show, you could always tell that. And you could tell that, like, I feel like your relationship with her is like, don't you dare mess with my sister, but I'm going to mess with her. Like, that's fine.
Yeah. I've always, I mean, I'm 6 years older, so I've always been, you know, she always tells me that I've been like the troublemaker sister. Like, I remember when we were little, she was always getting in trouble for something I did. I always, you know, she used to tell me a secret, and I'm like, well, now that I know your secret, you better do this for me, or I'm gonna go and tell mom on you. You know? So I was like the little sister, you know, the older sister that was not so kind, I guess. And I told her I apologize.
And she did, after her divorce, move to Poland.
She did, yeah. She's living in Warsaw. She just wanted a little change of the scenery, and you know, she's happy. You know, she's focusing on her music and writing music, and you know, has a TV series. She's working as an actress there. So you know, she's good. She's good.
Do you still watch Dancing with the Stars when you have
you know
time?
what? I like when it pops up on social media, I do watch it, but I don't actually go and turn it on. But I do miss those days. I really do. That was probably one of the highlights of just my career.
Fights definitely sell. I think fights get ratings. And I think that, you know, there is a specific fight from your time on Real Housewives of Miami that just gets so much airtime. I feel like people are always like, do you remember the fight between Adriana and Joanna?
Always.
And it's like, oh, of course I do.
And
I mean,
that season 2 was the best season. Everyone says that.
That was history making. It felt very, because you know, we had fights on New Jersey, and I feel like this fight was kind of the next version of what was happening in Jersey. What is it like for you to like look back, like, because you are in such a different place now, to have to look back and be like, holy shit, like I can't believe that was part of who I was and what I was doing?
You know what? It's embarrassing. I hope my daughter never sees it. I can't even believe that, you know, I got to a point where I allowed that side of Joanna to come out. You know, like, as I said, I was so stressed out every day. There's my daughter. Actually, I'm on the, what?
Hi.
Yeah, tell me.
She's like a
Are we
baby
shivering?
Joanna.
Okay, just open the door, boo-boo. Sorry. My daughter.
No, you're
sick
fine.
at home. So yeah, for her sakes, I'm embarrassed. Hopefully she never sees it.
She's
I was
gonna
just
see
so
it.
stressed out she will see it, yeah. But hopefully I'll get to explain to her the situation.
That Adriana
So
did
yeah, I
not
definitely
leave you alone.
Yeah, no, it was just like from day one. And, I was just stressed
That is
filming
true.
that show because I didn't feel, it's one thing to be around women that support each other. And of course, it's a show, you need drama. And, I'm all for it. I'm not, like I've been in the entertainment business for a long time. So I get it. I'm not stupid. I know you need drama to sell. But that was like drama that
It
it
was
was
so
just not right. It was wrong.
unexpected.
It was not necessary. Yeah.
And it was so
yeah, it was not-
unexpected. Like,
Yeah.
you had to be there to understand that that's the last thing anyone expected. As you
Yeah.
could see all the camera people in the scene, because they were like, what just happened? It was insane. Like, we were like,
Yeah.
I also can't imagine too, like when she pushed you, I think your head hits the camera, which I feel like when you're already in this like fight or flight mode, you feel that and you're like, is somebody else like attacking me? And then like heightens your senses. And I mean, I know that you might be embarrassed by it, but as someone who loves reality TV,
no, it was great TV.
I salute you and I for your service.
And you have to think
Yes,
about the
yes, thank you.
situation that she was in that show where Joe Francis was there spreading lies and all that stuff. She was already in a state of mind that she wasn't going to take shit anymore. And really, Adriana
it
was
tough.
at
It was
the time.
tough.
Yeah, she was a dog
because
with a bone.
like especially being in the entertainment business and not having to deal with that kind of drama and that kind of stress, that kind of lies, and that kind of treatment. I was like in shock. So for me, it definitely is not something that I look back and be like, oh, I'm proud of it. I definitely would say I probably regret signing up for it because that's not the type of person I am. That's not the type of person I'm proud of because I think I've done a lot in the business and I think I've worked very hard to keep a positive opinion of myself, and the fact that I allowed myself to go there, it's not something that I'm proud of, and I will always say I'm definitely not proud of.
Do you think that filming had a big impact on your relationship with Romaine and why things didn't end up working out?
You know what? I mean, obviously the added stress and drama and pressure doesn't help any relationship if it's a marriage or a friendship. So maybe not.
He thinks so.
It's hard for me to say. He says he thinks so. It could be. I mean,
he does think so, and he hates those producers as much as I do.
Oh yeah, he hates he wishes it never even existed. No, I feel bad because he was put in a spot where he didn't even get paid. He didn't have to be part of it. It's like he got pushed into doing something because of me. And I feel bad for him that he even got stuck.
And
to
he was so generous. He was really generous with his clubs and with everything else, and gave us a lot of opportunity to film and everything else. And you know what?
I think about like when you are having a fight with your significant other and you go and you tell your friends or you tell your family about it and they're like, I'm not going to forget, but now instead of running to just your friends or your family, it's on national television. And I feel like that extra pressure of like, fuck, like, and now people are like wanting to kind of hold you to a certain standard because they're like, well, you told us this and we saw this. And it's like, well, we are only seeing such a small portion of how much you guys have filmed, and they're not going to show us the good stuff. Like, no one cares about that.
That's too boring. Yeah.
Right.
And the hard part is that not only do you live it that moment, but then 6 months later when it airs,
watch it, yes.
you have to relive it. So even, you made peace with everybody or, you dealt with it and you're fine. Then 6 months later kind of reopens the problem that happened and you kind of relive it again. So, and then, people don't see exactly how things happen or what happened before then because they only see how it was edited and what is shown.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely not something for to keep a good health going. That's for sure, to keep healthy.
When did you find out that there was not going to be a season 4? Like, did you guys know before like season 3 was even over, or is it like you were kind of waiting around?
Well, I think Leah and I both were like, we're not coming back no matter what it is. And Roman's like, oh, hell no. So I already in my head, I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, maybe if there was like a transition, maybe I would consider Beverly Hills. And there was actually, we were in the talks to maybe transfer me over to Beverly Hills at that time. But then later they decided it might not be the right timing at that moment. So I feel like Beverly Hills, it was a little bit less below the belt. Now, obviously, it has gone to the level of Housewives of Miami. But at one point, when we did Real Housewives of Miami, I think Beverly Hills was classy to a point, like classy drama. But then it went downhill for sure. So that was the only conversation between Miami. I said, I'm out. Roman definitely was out. He's like, well, if you do it,
said no.
Forget about me filming. My sister said, oh, hell no, I'm not filming. So basically, I would have been left by myself, even if I wanted to do it. But Beverly Hills, he definitely would have been open to it if the opportunity came at that time.
Yeah.
I think you would have been amazing on Beverly Hills. Like, I can see that already.
Yeah, I think that timing would have been good because I was still open to pursuing it. And so, yeah, I agree. I think that would have been a good transition, would have been a smart transition. But, you know, things happened and it is what it is.
And instead of bringing you on, we got your best friend, Brandi Glanville. She is
definitely not her best friend.
Oh
my God.
I know. Like,
did you see though what's happened to her? Have you seen her face?
Yeah.
I've seen on social media.
Oh my God, Joanna, I don't even know what's going on there. It's so weird. Ace thinks it's crystal meth.
I don't know either.
Okay, Anna, we didn't need to say that.
But it looks like it.
I do feel like Brandi has a lot of enemies out there. And the hard thing with Brandi is like you want to root for her. You want her to have this comeback story. And then she does something like what she did to you or what she's done to other people. And it's hard to root for someone after so many times of them, you know, being a piece of shit, to be frank.
Yeah.
But I would have loved you on Beverly Hills, and I think that you would have been incredible
And
there.
she's,
I didn't know that was an option.
Joe's are really good friends with Denise Richards, and how are you feeling about all that's going on with her?
I feel bad for her. I mean, she was here at my house a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, she looks beautiful. You can't tell that she's, stressed out or anything. And, I feel bad because anybody going through, a divorce and plus such a publicized divorce and not a happy divorce. So I just, I feel bad for her as a friend. I hope it turns out the way it's supposed to turn out. And, I told her, I just, whatever you need, let me know. And, it's just horrible. I think no matter what, if people like each other or don't like each other, at one point you loved each other. The same thing with my situation. I'm like, I don't want to go and make this big blow up of, of divorce because first of all,
it was very quiet. Like, it really was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quiet because I'm like, everything under the table, let's agree. And that's it. Like for our daughter's sake, like there's no reason to bring out the skeletons in the closet. There's no reason for that.
Did you ever suspect that she was enduring spousal abuse at any point? Did you get that vibe from him?
Well, you know what? I've only met him a couple of times at the clinic he had in Malibu. Mm-hmm. So I can't really say. I've never hung out with him, on a private matter, only around other people. So it's hard for me to say getting that vibe from him.
Yeah.
I think that what's crazy is there are situations where, we wanted you and Roman
Roman.
It's Roman.
Who is Ramon? Is that my future husband?
There's situations, where your relationship didn't look as good as it was. But then there's situations like Denise and Aaron, like we thought they were just this fun couple. She had this new show and we watched them. We're like, oh, they're so fun. They're light. They're whatever. And then we come and we find all this out. And it just shows how untrue reality TV can be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Reality TV and just in general, nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors. And, there's, even if you have friends that you say certain things to, that doesn't mean that should go beyond that friendship, you know, and a lot of people don't know because unless you talk about it in the media, you don't know that there's something bad going on at home. And a lot of people just want to keep it to themselves. They want to be private and they don't want to spill the beans, you know. And a lot of times when you are filming, you are acting in a way. It's not, you know, reality is not reality. Even if I do, you know, my show Top Model, sometimes, you know, in a horrible, like, you know, I'm not feeling good. I was going, you know, during the filming, the 14 seasons, I was going through 2 divorces. So imagine me there trying to be all lovely, bubbly, you know, to these contestants and still, you know, doing a show because that's my job as a host, still thinking about what I'm going to say to, you know, with the other judges, what I'm going to say to these contestants. So nobody cares what's going on in your private life. Like, you got to act. So I tell everybody, like, reality or modeling, you're acting. In a way, you're acting because no matter how you're feeling at that moment, you put that stuff on the side and you got to do your job. So if you're doing a reality show, you got to bring on the drama. They don't care if you're not feeling good or something else is going on in your life. Like, you got to perform, you know.
That's
so
your
I
job.
think, and a lot of times, you know, people don't want to show their true situations at home. You know, if there's something bad going on at home, you're not proud of it. You don't want to bring that to, you know, on camera. So you, of course, all the bubbly, beautiful stuff gets shown. So yeah, you just never know what goes on in people's private lives.
Is there anyone from your time on Real Housewives of Miami that you still kind of keep in contact with?
Well, Miss Anna here, of course. You know what? I did keep in contact a little bit with Karen and Leah. But I definitely seen Anna more than Karen or Leah for sure. But, you know, like all 3, I think, you know,
Karen
were
loves
fine
you.
when I was filming. Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Well, except that they put me against Karen and it wasn't even real.
I remember. Yeah.
But
I remember
she's
that
been
drama.
on the show here with us. She's wonderful.
So she spilled the beans, the truth.
Yeah, she did. Yep, she did.
Yeah.
She
Because
didn't
they
hold
made
back.
you like enemies. Good.
For nothing. Like, it wasn't even true, but, you know, that's, Marisol still has all that control over, what do you call it, over production. And it actually just came out today on reality, a blurb that, because I said it, I got it from a very good source, that they never wanted Marisol back for season 4, ever. And that she begged so much, and they still didn't want her until Alexia agreed to give up part of her salary for her to be on there.
I did read that today on your post.
I
did read that. Wow.
So she's basically Alexia's employee, and let me tell you, she behaves like one. But this season, you know, if you haven't watched, what a difference! So crazy, the kind of stuff that's happened. Adriana's not the same person. She's much more toned down. It came out that she had an affair with the wife of Martina.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, I did see that
yeah.
on social media. I did see that during the reunion. I did see that. Yeah, but Adriana actually looks really good. She
does look good. She looks really good.
I don't know what treatment she's doing, but
I don't either. She hasn't said.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really totally a facelift.
Yeah, but
totally had a facelift.
It's fine to have a facelift, but she looks different, but she looks prettier. She's prettier than she was before.
Looks fuller, like her face looks fuller, but it but it looks like nicely full, not like, you know, some women, they do the filler where they look horrible. Right. But she actually looks good. I will tell her, as much as I dislike this person, I think she looks good. I'm not gonna say something, you know, I'm not gonna be the hater, you know, like if somebody looks good, you look good. I actually will give that to her.
She has a lot of regrets, I'll tell you that. She definitely has a lot of regrets.
Well,
did Adriana ever reach out and apologize?
No, she didn't. But I think if her and I got along, I think the whole experience of the show would have been totally different. I think we could have killed it where, you know, it could have been a positive thing and taken advantage of it. But I think she decided to go the wrong direction. And, you know,
she went
sadly
hard for
came out to what it was.
She really went hard for her. She went hard for her. Very different to who we saw this season. Very different. Yeah. She was out on a mission. But listen, the show has kept evolving into something that I don't think you would ever want to be part of, even though your name continues to be brought up by our listeners, by people on social media, everyone mentions you. They mentioned you to Andy the other day on a Watch What Happens Live all the time, you know? So, you know, there is something missing. They haven't gotten the perfect balance yet. They have not figured it out.
Perfect formula. Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't.
I feel like what's missing in Miami is, you know, some class, which is like we used to have Dr. Nicole, and she was amazing. And
I actually seen a few snippets of her like on you know, social media, and she did come out like she's very like if they had cast members like her, I think the show would be a lot better.
Yeah.
But she was like, listen, I don't want to deal with Marisol. I think she's a psycho. So she left the show. And then, you know, they bring in this new girl, Stephanie, where we have money. We just don't really have necessarily the class that goes with it.
And the twins had problems with her, too. Everybody calls Alexia and Marisol the twins now because they share a brain.
They're twins.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And so they're threatened by everybody, you know? That's the problem.
Which is a shame, you know. It's like you're doing a show together, work as a team, you know, have your moments of drama, but you know, you could create drama or have drama without really, you know, just hurting each other. I'm like, man, I'm just like too old for that stuff. Like trying to see how I can hurt somebody when here I am trying to do like something good. And to hurt somebody, like, I don't understand. I don't have that in my blood. I don't have that, you know, like I'm all for drama. I get it. But there's ways to do drama without, you know, being hurtful and hurting other people, hurting their relationship, hurting their careers, hurting their livelihood. It's just not okay. And
I think the younger generations are really not enjoying that as much. And I had a conversation with Beva, you know, and she's very much into production and has her finger on the pulse of what people really want. And she really believes that social media and reality TV and housewives and things of that nature are not going to last much longer because the younger generations don't enjoy that. They don't enjoy people bad-mouthing each other. They don't.
Yeah, because if you look at, you know, the different like influencers, they're all about, you know, goofy comedy, like lifestyle stuff. And I think the younger generation can relate to that, you know, because you're supposed to empower each other, not like destroy one another. It's sad. But it's sad also that, you know, that obviously people watch it. So people are getting.
Yeah, there's people that watch it, but I think it's not getting as much of a younger, you know, pool of audience. No, I don't think so. And I think social media is going the same way because social media used to be a place where you can see fashion or see somebody doing a funny dance or see.
Now it's all about
have
hate.
Conversation. It's hate, and I didn't know this thing called rage bait. I didn't know that existed. So I see this mom saying that her 7-year-old daughter, she's finally giving her up for adoption and she can't wait for her to leave and that she bought an RV and the parent today is when I say goodbye to her and all this stuff. And I went to the comments to like just unleash and people were like, don't fall for it. This is rage bait. So social media is becoming not real at all. So much is manufactured. So I really think,
and especially with AI, now you don't know what's real or not.
What's
like
real
soon
and what
we're going to be looking, and we're like, is this real? Is this, you know, is this the president talking, or is this like a fake version, or is this, you know, like, is this really happening in this part of the world, or is it, you know?
Yeah,
it's
already
scary.
happening.
It's very scary. Yeah.
Very, Joanna, where can we find Street Rescue, and when do new episodes come out?
Well, we're launching this Friday on the 24th. They can go, before the show airs, they can go sign up for a newsletter at streetrescue.com. And it will be airing on YouTube, Street Rescue TV, and all our social media is also Street Rescue TV. So it's launching this Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, so hopefully we can build a community, because I will tell you guys, it's been a dream of mine for a very long time to be able to give back on a bigger scale. And this is the only option, only way to do it, and also inspire others. And, you know, and once we get done with our first season, once we start, you know, filming our second season, hopefully we'll have obviously more people to involve and, you know, save more lives. So I'm very excited.
Right. And is it that
you know, if ever you need a housewife tagline for Street Rescue, I think you could say something along the lines of like, I used to have to fight bitches. Now I rescue them.
Oh
I love
my
that.
God, that is
steal
so
that.
good. You have to use it.
I might.
You have to
I might
use
steal
that. That is so good, Ace. No,
Thank
you know,
you.
is it that
Did
same?
you just come up with it right now?
As you were saying it, I was
Totally.
like, what could a good tagline be? Yes,
He is-
I'm proud of that.
Yeah, he's a good.
I love it.
He knows Housewives better than anybody. So is it
Oh, I
that
do.
guy, the cute vet you showed me 2 years ago? That's
Oh,
part of
Kwane
this?
Stewart. Yeah, he's in
Yeah.
he's in our premiere episode.
Okay.
He does this on a regular basis where he goes to Skid Row. And so, yeah, we wanted to use him as our special guest for the first episode because I think he's amazing. I think it's, wonderful what he does. He saves a lot of lives. And, he did get the CNN Hero of the Year award, which he should have because he's definitely, he's walked the walk. So people like him inspire me. And we're very proud to have him, as a guest.
Awesome. I can't wait to watch. We will definitely promote it and
Thank you.
definitely, tag you to everything so you can share it. And I know this has been coming for a long time, and I'm so happy that you're doing so many different things and all things you love, and I've never seen you happier, and it makes me happy to see that.
Thank you, Anna.
I
And
think
I hope I
everyone's
see you
been.
soon in
Yes,
person.
I will. Beva's pregnant again. Beva's
Oh my
pregnant
God, how
again.
exciting.
I know. So now I'll have
Amazing.
2 over there. So
Amazing.
I am visiting
I
more.
love it. Love, love,
Yeah.
love.
Thank you so much, Joanna, for joining us, for letting us into your life, for saving so many bitches out there. Oh, that was perfect timing.
That's perfect timing. I love it.
Wow. Guys, thank you so much. Don't forget, leave us 5-star reviews. Only say nice things about us. I know it's going to be hard to find nice things to say about Joanna because, oh, God, she's just so
Sorry,
awful.
I know, I'm awful.
But go and only say nice things about us. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Reality Court is officially adjourned. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Hurrdat. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Joanna. And as always,
Grace.
thank
Thank
you,
you, Anna.
Beyonce.
Thank you, Beyonce.